דור ודור נגיד לך, לדור ודור we protect this chain. From generation to generation, לדור ודור these lips will praise your name.
L'dor vador means from generation to generation, and it's a way for us not to think about obligation, but it really means responsibility of taking care of each other, of learning from our ancestors, learning from those who came before us, and standing on the shoulders of giants. So the element of L'dor vador is very prominent in our family. My grandfather, Paul Heller, was the chairperson of the Jewish Welfare Fund's campaign in 1947 and helped raise part of the $200 million to help build the Jewish state. My father was very involved at the JCC, and he was very passionate about the Jewish community. My mother was the Jewish sexual ethics teacher at the Sunday school, so she was definitely the most popular teacher at Sunday school. And so this deep connection plays an important part and makes me feel very passionate about continuing that legacy. I came to San Francisco with a passion for learning and meeting new people, but I really was focused on how to make the world a better place, particularly through the Jewish community.
When I first met her, I just knew she was a leader and that she was going to be doing something special in the community.
We first met as members of the first cohort of the Wexner Heritage Foundation's group in San Francisco. And my first impression was immediately that she had extremely compelling leadership qualities, and we hadn't even begun the program, so I thought to myself, I'm in deep trouble at this point in time.
One of her real distinguishing traits is the combination of the personal as well as the intellectual. And I think that has made her terribly effective.
She is totally dependable in terms of what she says she's going to do, and with a good attitude. So she is just one of these perfect people to do things with.
When I think of Jewish civic engagement, I immediately think of my mom. She is just engaged in every little thing that happens to be Jewish in her vicinity, and she reaches out and is proactive.
I liken Laura to a hunter and gatherer. She's a hunter in that she sees something and goes after it with maniacal focus, and she's a gatherer of thought leaders, of change makers, of educators.
When our children were at a Jewish day school, I noticed that there was a huge gap of younger people coming into the Jewish day school world to teach. And I noticed also that Teach for America was attracting the best and brightest from the top schools, many of whom were Jewish. It seemed to me that we needed to kind of find a lot of those Jewish kids and give them an opportunity to become Jewish day school teachers. DELET, Day School Leadership Through Teaching, is a program that today has almost 1,000 fellows across the country. They're teaching in day schools from coast to coast and many internationally.
We want the next generation to be able to fully integrate their Judaism into their lives. Judaism is not something that you just wear in your backpack and pick up and put down. The DELET teachers are the ones who are weaving it all together for the kids.
Laura's legacy will be in the next generation of leaders that she has seeded this community with.
She started the teen philanthropy program here in San Francisco, and now they're rolling it out across the country. But it's not purely about young people becoming philanthropists as much as becoming leaders.
Gary brought me to Aspen in the summer of 1992. I was floored. I was inspired. The beauty of the surroundings and the extraordinary opportunity to have the kind of conversations that are at an intellectual level that really stretch you beyond your comfort zone.
I felt that she would really embrace the discussions on really interesting issues with fascinating people. And I was right. She appreciated it, I appreciated her, and the rest is history.
We started this program for young people called the Socrates Society.
The Socrates program is a leadership forum for emerging leaders. We introduce them to all manner of issues under the sun, but these are issues that are covered by leaders. We are reaching now almost 1,000 people a year with our various programs, and it started in their living room in 1996.
We are so appreciative to every one of you because
one of the models for much of our philanthropy, and in particular Laura's, is the notion of creating self-sustaining entities. When Laura created Socrates, what she created was something that could be self-sustaining without her.
As citizens, it's important for us to have excellence in journalism quality. So I got involved in NPR and ended up on the foundation board, having access to the reporters. I happened to meet several who then told me there were words being recommended for usage in their stories which were highly biased. I brought it to the CEO of the organization, and he was willing to allow for an external body to come in and evaluate whether or not this reporting really was biased. And NPR worked with JCRC to really evaluate the effectiveness of the reporting, and that was the beauty of what JCRC did, giving a report to NPR that really effectively showed the level of bias. NPR decided to hire an ombudsman to take input from the public on their impressions of the reporting so that it could have more influence, and that meant a lot to us.
Her instinct is to get in there, to figure out how to create something positive and productive, and then to bring people together.
There are 5 words in the English language which strike fear into the heart of grown men. And when uttered by Laura Lauder, those are, want to go riding on Sunday.
Laura has a stamina and a perseverance, a tenacity that serves her well throughout life, but particularly on a bike.
I cannot cook, but I can bike.
Laura is very, very hard to say no to.
We actually help try to solve the problems of the Jewish community together while we're out there.
That's the double whammy for me because A, I can't keep up with her.
She's very skilled.
And B, I can't breathe.
The beauty and connection with nature.
She's very strong.
She rides up to the top of some mountain, and then she comes back and picks you up, and she drags you back up the mountain. And then when you finish, she says, okay, what time are we hiking?
That's biking.
Sitting on the board of the JCRC, I'm very proud of the fact that she's receiving this award because it personifies the level of engagement that we look for in individuals who do receive this award.
I can't think of anybody that is more deserving of this award, and I'm delighted that she is going to be honored in this way.
Laura brings all of herself to everything she does, but she does it in a way that where she doesn't need the bright lights and the spotlight.
This award rightly recognizes an individual who can span many communities.
That's kind of an aspirational goal for me, is to continue to do this work and to live up to this award's name.
Hail to Laura and hail to JCRC for making this shidduch. It's a fitting recognition for Laura.
From generation to generation.
Hey Mom, I am so incredibly unsurprised of the award that you're receiving right now. You have always trying to do things to better the world. Our Lauder Family Grant Circle is probably one of the most special things in my life. I'm just so proud to call you my mom. You're incredible. Love you.